Authenticity is the latest self-help buzzword, and it's being thrown around a lot these days. But are we taking the concept too far? As in, has authenticity turned into just an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for our lives and for our actions? Studio 5 relationship coach Dr. Matt Townsend is here with some answers.
Yes.
This is a big one for me. You and I have
Huge.
talked about this. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Authenticity comes on the scene 2 years ago. It's great.
It's huge. It's a great idea.
It's a good concept, but already I feel like personally we're taking it a bit too far. Can I share an example? So just this week, just this over the weekend on Instagram, I see this picture of a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife, woman, and mother, with her beautiful children, and she proceeds in the comment to say all of the reasons why, by her standards, she's not a good mother.
Oh, my heavens.
And I could tell her values were reflected in what she was saying.
Right.
Like, I'm not good at this, I don't do that. But she cared about those things. And then the summary was, the punchline was, she said at the end of it, I guess that's just not me, so moving on. And I was like, wait a minute, at what point do we work towards something or aspire to be better?
And you don't have to throw out one and to keep the other. So a lot of times authenticity, when you research it and you learn more about it, it's about not wanting to be controlled anymore, not wanting to be told what to do anymore. So you want to be your authentic self, by golly. And once you are, then you're somehow going to be liberated and free.
Like, don't put me in a box.
Yeah, the problem with it is that nobody just put you in a box. You also kind of grew up in a box. You went to the box. You liked the box. And the box wasn't bad. Boxes aren't always bad. And so I want to show you today that you can find your real you, and at the same time, over time, you can turn everything that's around you in life, doesn't have to be disposed of. It can actually become part of helping you really find and be the best you can be.
That leads right into your first point. You say that it's not about ripping off the covers and saying, here I am, that discovering you, the authentic you, is a process.
This is a process. Remember, you've changed a bit since you were like 5.
Let's hope so.
Because your authentic you just needed that ball of string and that clothespin. That's all you needed to get through the day. And you evolved to a different point. So be careful ever framing your authentic self, who you are, in any one picture or frame of life, because life is constantly changing and evolving, and you are too. So don't ever think that it's just this one night event. If you just go to that one thing and you spend that weekend going to hear that great speaker for a weekend or whatever, don't assume that's going to actually help you become your authentic self. Your authentic self, I believe, is really already in you. Your process is slowly getting it out of you.
Yes, well, that's the other side of this authenticity movement, is we're making self-discovery such a complicated process, it feels like. Like, shouldn't it be a little easier just to know who we are?
Absolutely. And part of it is that you got to kind of know which is the real you. So when you say, I just got to be me, I got to be the real me, you got to be careful, because there's 3 parts of who you are. And like, your body has real feelings. You feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel cold, you feel hot. Your mind has real feelings. You feel worried, concerned, competitive, and your spirit has real feelings like peace and joy and hope. So if you're going to be true to one of those 3, I'd probably choose the one that brings the most peace, not the one that brings the most calories, not the one that brings the most concern and constant fear. So be careful which one you're choosing to be. And the way you know is, go to thine own self be true, is what Shakespeare wrote. But at some point, that self that is the real self is the highest self, the one you feel when you are most at peace, most feeling love, most feeling joy.
Are we more authentic, Matt, when we live in the moment, when we're actually present? I mean, that's part of this too, and I really respect that, the mindfulness component. That's big.
It's essential, right? And one of the things that we run into that's kind of problematic is, you got to remember that your self has a past, and it has a present, and it has a future. So if in the present moment you're not liking something, and you can see it a lot where everybody kind of has a pet peeve, a pet issue, a pet project that they don't like, and the minute somebody rubs that pet project or pet issue wrong, we want to just get out. But one of the reasons why that issue impacts you so much today is probably because of what happened to you 10 years ago and 15 years ago. So don't ever, just be careful. Just slow down and start to realize what I've become, the challenges I've gone through. There's a reason I do relationship coaching, and I'm going to bet it has something to do with parents divorcing. Okay, so there's got to be some connection there. So my real self isn't made yet, but is deeply connected to who I've been, but it also is critical to know what I want to become.
Gotcha.
And to know my future, what I could become, and my past, then I can kind of sit more in the moment.
As we were talking about this topic, you even brought up, and I hope it's okay that I reference this, but in your own coaching, your relationship coaching, that you've seen this authenticity push get in the way of marriages.
All the time I've seen people, I am done, I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom anymore. I'm tired of being boxed into some crazy little box, I'm not going to do it. And I've seen people need to leave families, say they need to leave families, but one of the rules when we get into this is you got to be your whole self, not just the parts. So if your identity, whatever the gender, whatever the religion, whatever the ethnicity, whatever the sexual identity, that is not you. That is a part, along with your past, your present, your future, your body, your mind, your spirit. All of this is what constitutes our genuine self. And then you got to be really careful that as you're moving on, as you're progressing forward in this, that you don't just identify yourself in one angle or in one way.
You say one way, though, we can stay true, if that's the goal, stay true to ourselves, is by staying in. Explain that.
The tendency when we don't feel like our authenticity is being appreciated or we're being pushed a certain direction, our tendency is to jump out, to get out of that situation, to leave the family that doesn't work, to leave the situation we don't like, to leave a church that doesn't agree with us or whatever. But what I found is to be truly authentic might mean that you stay in. You stay in the situation, and then you use your great authentic gifts to teach others about who you are or what is going on with you that would enlighten all of us to understand. And if more people would stay in the conversations instead of getting out of conversations, we would heal. We would heal our ethnic divides, we'd heal our financial situations, we'd heal the religious division, we'd heal a lot of powerful things if people, with their authenticity, would choose to stay in instead of opt out.
You just put words to what I've been feeling for so long. So thank you
Isn't that
so
beautiful?
much.
It's great stuff.
Still a few seats left at your date night coming up.
Just a few more days is all we've got, and there's like a handful of seats.
Okay.
So just go to datenightswithmatt.com, put in Studio 5 as a passcode, and you'll get a great discount, and we're going to teach you how to, what are we talking about?
Marriage, connection.
Bringing happiness home.
Happiness.
It's going to be so much fun.
We'll be there. We're excited.
Thanks, Brooke.